Welcome to Hawaii once more. We're gonna observe the curvature, observe the curve on the big island of Hawaii. Hawaii! One of the best places in the world to observe the curvature. So we're gonna look at it from Kauai High, and we're gonna be look at right next to the Kona airport, a little Pu'u here by the beach of Makalavena and Kua Bay. And we're also going to be looking at it from Lapakahi next to Kona. We're going to be looking at the same Pu'u by the Kona airport. And if we look at Google Earth, it's by Makalavena Beach, beautiful place to go. It's a long hike to get to. It's just below the highway. You see Makalavena, you can get to it either this way or the other way here. Well, it's hard access, and you can go to Kua Bay here. Manini Ovali beach is a very nice beach. What we're going to be looking at is Pu'u Kuili. You can see that Pu'u, little hill, stands out above the rest of the landscape. It's an easy feature to see from the highway on the Big Island as we're driving down the coast. It's one of my first convincing point that the earth was flat is driving all along the highway. We can see the Pu'u and it's never hidden. That's before I figured out that there actually is a curve out there. The curve. But this curve that we can measure and observe, we can see that it wouldn't put us in the globe, according to the scientists that measured our globe with their math, and we'll make the math later on, compare our numbers. So the spot I was observing it from is from Spencer Beach here. Here's the Pu'u, Pu'u Ko'ulao, or yeah, that's the Pu'u that King Kamehameha built under some direction of Hawaiian priests in order for him to conquer all of the islands of Hawaii. So my other observation point is here by the harbor in Kauai High. There's a little metal staircase that goes down in the water, and we'll be able to see that on my shot I'm going to show you. All right. And we're also going to be making some observation from Lapakahi State Park. It's also a historical park, as there are still some remnants of old dwellings. It's also a nice marine life conservation. Some of the best snorkeling you can do on the island down here. And we're also going to be looking from right next to the little lighthouse that's between Kona and Lapakahi. You can see a little lighthouse here with its shadow. And I'm going to be going down here by the ocean and from up there to observe that Pu'u by the Kona airport. See, let's take some measurements. See how far we are from that Pu'u? Backing out. It's about here by the airport. Tick. So we get 29 miles, 29 miles and a half, 0.49. 29 miles away. We're going to be observing. And we can calculate what does 29 and a half miles do, or just 29. 841. We time that by 0.666, which is 2/3 of a foot. And we get 560 feet that we shouldn't be able to see anything below 560 feet when my eye is at the ocean level and I'm looking 29 miles away. Okay? So we have several websites that talk about the curvature of the Earth. And they pretty much have all the same math using that number here, 3,963 miles, which is the radius of the globe, the ball of the Earth, if we're spinning in space. So the radius would be 3,963 miles. So if we measured how many miles out we're seeing, we should be able to see what's the height that's missing on the horizon. Okay, using all these maths here, 7.98 inches or 8 inches to the mile squared. Okay, so we got to square our miles that we measure in distance, and we got to times that by 8 inches to the foot, which is 0.666666666. Let's go in miles. So let's use this calculator here, 29 miles. We get 560 feet that we shouldn't be able to see if my eyeball was at the water level. Okay, can even compare my math. 560 is pretty much the same number. I don't know why these guys get a couple of hundreds of feet more. Hundreds. Okay, so let's look at the elevation of what we're looking at. According to this elevation map of Hawaii, let's go down to Kona, at Kona Airport, a little bit further. Right there, you can see the little Pu'u. Okay, let's try to grab some measurements. Let's try to get a little closer. We can't. We'll do the best we can with what we got. 299. Okay, let's take another sample. 302 feet. Okay, what else? 318. Okay, which part of the hand is grabbing though? The thumb, the wrist. 253 feet. 299. 249. Somewhere over 300. 325, okay. That's the most we got so far. 318. 395, 295. 328. So that's the most we've got so far. 295. I'm sure there's a more accurate way of finding the elevation, but we'll settle with like 330 feet. Okay, there's no trees so much on that hilltop, compared to the one in Hana that we observed in another video. By the way, you should look at all my other videos as a curvature amateur. It helps to make a good idea of what kind of world we're looking at. Let's measure distance that we're going to be seeing from Spencer Beach Park. You can go camp at Spencer Beach Park. You have to get a little permit. It's like 20 bucks. It used to be 20 bucks. I don't know anymore. I haven't been there and been camping there in several years. Okay, distance to Kona from there is 22 miles, 0.64. 22.64 miles. Okay, let's use our calculator, regular calculator. Ennio calculator would do 22 miles, even 0.64, be precise, times itself, squaring that number. We get 512. We take 2/3 of that value, 0.666, because 8 inches to the foot is 2/3. And we get 341 feet. We shouldn't be able to see anything below 341 feet. And we saw that our Pu'u that we're going to be observing is actually below that. It's 300 and maybe 30 feet at the highest point. You can make your own research and defy this number to me if you want. Okay, I'll take any arguments. Don't try to convince me that the world is flat anymore, and don't try to convince me that we are living on a globe spinning in the vacuum of space anymore, because I've given up that idea with a lot of my own observations that I'm sharing with you here in my curvature amateur movies videos. So first video here, I'm up on the side of the highway at 321 feet according to my altimeter, and I didn't set up a tripod. I apologize. I was sitting from my truck and looking at that Pu'u before the Kona airport. You can see a lot of landscape beneath that Pu'u. And you can kind of see the level of the ground. On the left side, I went too fast here. You can see a bunch of landscape along the ocean side of the Pu'u. It stretches way out. You can see the treetops. You can even see some shorelines, wave splashing. Okay, you can see lots of buildings, some hotels along the shoreline. And notice those 3 buildings there in the middle of the screen. We'll be able to see those. And the level, that ground level up there, which is just below the Pu'u, which is about where the highway runs. Okay. Sorry, sometimes I show you a bit too much scenery you don't need to be looking at to make up my point. But it's good to show you that I didn't trick any imagery like NASA does. It used to be $50 million a day that the NASA gets, but thanks to our president, he raised their paycheck. He raised their generous contribution to the NASA and their lives to 60-some millions every day. You'd like to pay that money? So I'm about 13 feet, 16 feet over the water level according to my altimeter. And you can see the metal staircase right in front here as we're standing on the Kauai Harbor bank right over the water. Some locals call that place LSD. I don't know why. We can see the white here It looks like those three buildings we were looking from the highway. And we can see a lot of landscape is missing from where we were sitting on the side of the highway at 300 and some feet of elevation. You can see some trees at the bottom of right over the water, and you don't see the beach below that. You don't see the shoreline, don't see the waves splashing on the shoreline. Okay, so as we gone down the hill, 300 and some feet, we lost part of the horizon due to the curvature. So we've been eclipsing some of the scenery with the curvature as we went down the hill. Okay? Are you convinced yet? You don't have to be. If you're convinced after a few words, you should be careful. It's good to observe, ask questions, observe some more, observe many times, observe on a regular basis. What kind of world we live in? All right. So that was by the harbor in Kauai High. Kauai High now has 5G towers. Thank you, thank you. We don't need 5G. It's only there to fry our cells and make oxygen molecules become destabilized at 60 gigahertz that those machines are beaming down at our world. So I went to Spencer Beach Park. Some geese there, and you can see the ground at Spencer Beach is pretty much flat. There's no slope going down to the water. You can see a little, not gazebo, but pavilion. Right, so that's the film I took before I stepped onto this beach. You see how flat the beach is. It doesn't slope very much. And I'm walking barefooted on the sand. And I'm looking at our Pu'u by the Kona airport. Okay, and I didn't bring my tripod. I apologize. But what I'm gonna do here, as I'm standing, okay, we can see that the curvature is hiding parts of the scenery. So what I'm gonna do as I'm standing on the beach, I'm gonna crouch down, sit down on the beach, like any romantic person would do. I didn't bring my wife with me this time. We can see there are parts of the landscape that are missing, that are being eclipsed by the curvature. Curvature of our Earth, not our globe, our Earth. People say planet Earth, but where is the proof that we are really a planet? We see Venus, we see Mercury, we see Mars, we see Jupiter and Saturn as planets up in the sky. You can see them pretty much every night if the sky is clear. You can watch their progression as they move across the sky. That's why we call them planets. They're wandering stars. Should Earth be a planet? If we're not a globe spinning in space, then we are not a planet. But I'm showing you as I sat down on the beach that I made some parts of the landscape disappear over the curvature. But does that show that this curvature would put us on a globe? So I've got my camera as close to the sand as I could without getting too much sand on it, my precious camera. And I can trust this beach here not to create splashes that would get all over my camera. So you can see there's a big space of a clipping that we managed to hide behind the curvature. But somehow I can't make the whole Pu'u disappear. I cannot. Unless I dug a hole into the sand and went beneath the water level, but then I would damage my camera and I wouldn't be able to see anything. So that's as low as I can go on the sand to eclipse parts of the landscape around Kona from Spencer Beach Park. Okay, standing up, shaking the sand off my butt, standing at the same height as this fellow human being that walked past. I don't know who that is. I don't want to know. So we can see that standing up, we're almost back up to the ground level, right by where the highway goes above that Pu'u. We're close to that level, but not quite there. You can see the curvature is making some parts of the island disappear, and you can't see any of the shoreline down on the ocean side of that Pu'u. I'm backing out, zooming out, walking on the very level sand of the beach. It barely slopes. You can kind of see the elevation. I didn't bring my altimeter that day. My altimeter that is not always so accurate. As I proved in another video, eclipsing the island of Morricone. That's probably my best video so far. You should watch it. So I'm walking up the sand. I'm stepping up 6 inches here on the sidewalk. And it slopes up a tiny little bit, maybe 6 more inches. And walking on the sidewalk. You see me go up much? Not much at all. Some picnic tables. I don't want to put too many people in my film that we don't know. I don't want to get sued by anyone. Especially the NASA. After I telling him how much liars they are. Okay, so we can see the landscape, more of the ground on the left side and a bit more on the ocean side of our Pu'u. Okay, you can see that I've gone up and made some grounds reappear. I'm gonna go up a little bit more, slopes up a little bit, maybe, what, 10 feet up to the that driveway area of the parking lot. Used to be a tree here. You got lots of bougainvillea bushes. They make beautiful flowers, if they are flowers or petals. But they have lots of nasty thorns. So they make great bushes if you want to keep the neighbors or the dogs out. You see lots of bougainvillea in Hawaii. It thrives. So we see more of the landscape on the left side. We see a few more buildings and treetops appearing. As I went up 10 feet, maybe 12 feet, 15 feet from the ocean. Sorry, I didn't bring any instrument to measure the precision here. But just to make up my point that there is curvature. Okay? It takes a little math to see that we're not on a globe. We live in a world with curvature, but our curvature wouldn't fit us on the globe that they tell us we are on. For one thing, if there's any pictures or images of our Earth from space, bear in mind that they are CGI. Even the guys at the NASA admit that they wouldn't be able to be without CGI. It has to be. That's what they say. So there's nobody or no astronaut, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, all those guys, Don Pettit, and none of those guys ever went out in space with a camera like mine and took a picture of our Earth or make a video of our Earth. None of them has ever done that. You can see that the ground below the Pu'u is around 200 feet. That's the low end, 220 feet. That's the low end above the Pu'u on the way up to the highway. So we made that 200 feet level disappear from Spencer Beach when I brought my camera down to the almost in the water level. Maybe I was an inch or two above the water level. Sorry. Okay. So we saw 200 feet disappeared. Maybe a little more. Okay, we can't be so precise sometimes. But the top of the hill is 330 feet maybe. So between 200 and 330 is 130 feet. We made that disappear by dropping a few feet. So we measure 22 miles and a half from Spencer Beach to our Pu'u. 22 and a half. We're squaring that number. How many miles we're squaring that? 506 times 8 inches to the foot, which is 0.66666. And we get 337 feet. 337 feet. We're still seeing the Pu'u, which stands below 330 feet, but we're not seeing the 200 feet elevation ground. Okay? Want to make some math? Go ahead. Make all the math you want. You can make some complicated math with derivatives and matrix and all that bullshit. Or you can use the regular Earth curvature math, which is simple. You measure the distance you see in miles, you square that number. So you multiply that number by the same number. That's what squaring is. And then you multiply that by 0.66666 periodical, which is 2/3 of a foot, 8 inches to the foot, or 7.97 inches to the foot, according to our mathematicians at Google. So I'm standing at Lapakahi, up on the rocks. I'm about the same level as that guy with his truck parked across there. Sorry I didn't bring my altimeter. We can eyeball that height. You can give it 20 feet if you want, 30 feet. You can see this little sign here. And you can see the Pu'u is already an island. It's separated by the rest of the landscape if we're looking towards Kona airport. So that Pu'u is already an island, and I'm at Lapakahi. I'm not at Spencer Beach anymore, which is 29 miles away. And we're lacking that 200-foot elevation area, even a little higher, but we're still seeing the top of the Pu'u, which is 330 feet of elevation at 29 miles away. But I'm standing up on the rocks. I'm higher up. I'm like around maybe 30 feet at the most from the water level. Okay, if you want to consider these numbers. And then I'm going to go down closer to the water level from the same spot. And we can recognize that sign up on the left. That sign up there. And we're looking at the landscape around the Kona airport. And you can see pretty much at the water level. The camera eye is maybe 6 feet above. And we can't see anything of that Pu'u in question. No, nada, non, pas du tout. On ne voit pas. We can't see it. Nine, niet. Ahole. Okay, so we can't see it from the water level. Okay, you can see our sign here. Water level. See how close I am to the water. Kind of. Okay. Just to show you I'm not cheating, I'm gonna show you another piece from another day. Right by the lighthouse, which is just next to that spot. You can add a mile to that distance of observation. It's just a few hundred feet. Once more, no Pu'u by the Kona airport, visible from Lapakahi, close enough to the water level, which proves that there is curvature. There is a curve. Flat earthers, sorry, but there is a curve. It's not flat. But don't ignore the flat earthers, please. Pay attention to what they have to say, because they're showing you a lot of true things. I'm not kidding. And you'll see with your own eyes when you watch those videos. There are many flat earthers. Some are pretty dumb. Some are pretty smart. You'll be the judge. Okay? And you should be the judge. You, your own, not your brother, not your mom, not your dad, not your sister, not your grandpa. You make your own judgment. Don't rely on somebody else's advice advice. You can rely on people's advice, but their opinion is their own. So my altimeter says 65 feet. And if you watch my video of eclipsing the island of Molokini, you can see the same footage because I took that on that hike. See the snow on Mauna Kea. This is Mauna Loa hidden by the clouds. Okay, and Hualalai. And down there towards the ocean is the Kona airport. You can kind of see that Pu'u sticking out. And my altimeter, bear in mind, it says 60 feet, 64 feet. But I'll show you on the next video, on the next clip, that my altimeter was faulty at that moment. So you see, we're missing that 200 feet elevation area. And we're still seeing most of the Pu'u. It's not separated so well. Okay. Let's do a bit of math again. Make our measurement just to make sure. They say measure twice, cut once. But we're not going to cut anything here. We're going to measure several times just to show you that it's not just a small error. It's a repeatable experiment. Okay, where's our lighthouse? Right here. You can see the little white spot. It even has a little shadow. How precise can we be? That's exactly where I was. Okay, to the Pu'u by the Kona airport. We get 29.86 miles. 29 miles away. And I'm standing, I say I'm standing about 40 feet from the water, even though my altimeter show you 62. But we'll see in my next clip what's the difference. Okay, 29 miles times itself, squaring 29 is 841 times 0.66666. So 560 feet, we shouldn't be able to see 560 feet at 29 miles away. We're missing that 200 feet elevation. We can see the 330 feet mark. And we shouldn't be able to see anything below 560 feet. But I'm already, let's say I'm at 60 feet over the water, according to my faulty altimeter. There's still 500 feet missing. And if we're looking at the top of the Pu'u, there should be a couple of 100 feet missing. Get my point? If you don't follow me very well, you can hire a mathematician, how much they charge. Or you can hire your school mathematician, because school teachers are usually underpaid, so you won't have to pay too much for a teacher. See, it says 26 feet. And I just hiked down that cliff there below the lighthouse. My feet are practically touching water. And I was kind of afraid that the splashing of the waves on the rocks would hit my camera with tiny little droplets of salty water. So I was hurrying up, getting that shot. And you can see my whole shot here if you watch my video eclipsing the island of Molokini, where we're going to skip straight to our goal here, which is trying to see the Pu'u by the Kona airport, which is missing from our site. About 6 feet over the water level. We don't see the 330 feet tall Pu'u, and we shouldn't see anything below 560 feet. Okay. Let's see. Hi, I'm Louis. Welcome to my tube, the Curvature Amateur. I have more to show you like this, so hold on to your thoughts. You can make some math all you want to compare it with my math. I like to keep things simple. I'm not a technician very well with computers, and I'm also a French Canadian, so if I have an accent, open your ears a little bit more. Okay? So if we look at what's going on in the world right now, it doesn't look too good, but we can still look at the world with an open mind and an open eye, or two eyes. It works even better than one eye. And as we're looking around, you can see that there are things that we were told. And the things we were told are not necessarily true. Like, are we really spinning on a globe in the vacuum of space? Try to spin a ball and see how it acts. try to spin a ball with water on top of it. And when we look at the stars, how come they don't change from night to night, from year to year? When we'd be spinning in space and our solar system is supposed to be moving forward, how can that be possible? The flat earthers have came up with a lot of good topics to show that what we're looking at is not what we were told. But they also claim that there is no curvature, and that is what I'm here to show you, that there is actually curvature out there that we can see and we can kind of measure with some good reference points. And at home here in Hawaii, I got lots of footage, and it's probably the best place in the world to be looking at the curvature, since we got high mountains and we got a wide span of water between the islands. So stay tuned and you'll see that I'm not as crazy as I look. Okay? I'm not crazy at all. Give me a chance. And I'm not conspiring with anybody over this topic here, because I made my own observation and I made my own judgment, and it's all out of this head here. If you have anything to add to my thoughts, I'm open. And if you have any comments that are going to tell me how crazy I am, I'm not going to be taking that so personally. So be open-minded, be open-hearted, and open-eyed.